it's so cool to see that when students call and say, "Hey, guess what? I started my business," and it is so cool that a lot of things you talked about are true. So it's neat to be able to see this and have that impact, or help a struggling business trying to get to the next step. So that's what inspires me, and that's what causes me to wake up early in the morning and want to jump forth and meet the challenges of the day.
Welcome. This is the Faces of Riverside 2026 magazine podcast series. In addition to featuring the companies and individuals in the magazine itself, we invite them to sit down with us and talk a bit further about the good works that they're doing, the things that may be new and exciting, and how they work with their, in this case, students and local businesses in the community. We're joined today by two amazing gentlemen. I have Dr. Robert Shields, the interim dean at CBU's Dr. Robert K. Jabs Business School, and Assistant Professor Thomas Fryer, who is the director of the Family Business Center. Gentlemen, welcome.
Thank you. Thanks for having us.
My pleasure. So before we kind of get started in terms of some questions, because I have a bunch of them, I want to give you a chance to kind of talk about your backgrounds, a little bit about your history, and how you landed in the roles that you're in today. Robert, we'll start with you.
Absolutely. So I'm originally from North Carolina. And so I went to my undergrad degree program back at the University of North Carolina at Charlotte. I majored in computer science, and I was really looking to get into an IT type of role. And this was back in the early 2000s when, .com was really big. And so graduated and was looking for different positions in the area in North Carolina and couldn't really find the right fit. My girlfriend at the time got into Loma Linda, so she traveled from North Carolina all the way out to California to this place called Loma Linda, California that I never really heard of. And so I ended up searching for jobs out in California. I learned about California Baptist University. And so I came out and I've had a couple of interactions here on the campus. And to make a long story short, God worked everything out. I ended up finding a position here at CBU that was close to my girlfriend, who is now my wife for almost 25 years now.
Wow.
So that was the beginning of something really beautiful here, being able to be a part of the CBU community and just learning about the way that our university is committed to the Great Commission. Being here for more than 25 years now at CBU, I've seen so much growth. We have such great leadership here. It's been amazing to see the buildings and the new programs and the new departments that have been developed here. So worked in academic affairs, went to marketing. I worked in our online division, and I've been a faculty member for about 9 years now. I'm teaching in-person online courses. I enjoy teaching in the area of technology, communications, and also marketing. So that's what brought me here. I'm super proud to be here at CBU. Definitely feel blessed because not only am I a faculty member here, I'm also a CBU parent. And so my son currently, as of the recording, is a senior majoring in kinesiology and minoring in business. So that's a little bit about me. And my wife and I, we have 4 children, and we're here in Riverside.
Fabulous. Congratulations on 25 years. That is a Herculean event nowadays. So good for you. Your son is in what
Senior, he's a 5th-year senior, and so he
Okay.
has one more year. He recently changed his major, and so he'll be majoring in kinesiology. So it's been a huge blessing to be here at CBU for the time that I've been here and to see him be part of the Lancer Nation. But yeah, he has about another year and a half to go.
Okay. Okay, great. Great. And so now you're leading the Jabs Business School. It's one of the reasons we want to talk to you directly.
Absolutely.
And moving on to Dr. Fryer or Thomas Fryer, the executive director at the Family Business Center. Thomas, give us a little bit about, or Tom, give me a little bit about your background.
Okay. It's absolutely, Norm. I actually started out in the U.S. Air Force and spent 14 years working there, mostly as a systems engineer going all over the world. I've actually lived in about 19 different countries and have was involved in the Gulf War in the first one. I got out of the Air Force after a 30% disability, where I basically had to learn how to walk again. So after that, I decided to become a technology executive. Actually, worked out at in Amdocs, which is surprisingly enough in Charlotte, North Carolina. So was out lived there for a while. Came back here to California to take care of things here. Had family that was passing away, so I ended up staying here in California. And in the process, started up about 3 or 4 different businesses here in California as well. So I've had experience on all aspects of this, from being involved in a family business when I was a young man, working with my father in his business, to when I was out here. I actually started up a family business and hired my siblings and a couple of cousins in there. So we got involved in that as well, till eventually that business was sold and moved on. In the process, I actually ended up getting another PhD in engineering, and found out that I really enjoyed teaching. So even though I've been working as an executive and running businesses and doing things from day to day, it was enough to realize that, I enjoyed teaching, and it was that sense of giving back a little bit more. The thing that really opened the doors was in 2021, when I actually came here to CBU as an adjunct and worked here for a few years before becoming a full-time faculty, and seeing that I didn't have to hide my faith, and the fact that I could easily integrate my faith and my belief in God and understand how both walk together in everyday business, was an eye-opening thing. And when the opportunity came for the Family Business Center, let's just say I thought, wow, what a wonderful fit and what a wonderful way to help spread the word and maybe make things a little bit better for everyone here.
Well, you certainly sound like the right individual to be heading up that group. So kudos to that, and thank you for your service. I want to kind of start and talk a little bit about the business school initially as a whole. Can you give me, Robert, just a sense of the history of the business school and what it looks like today? Because you've been here for a very long time, so you certainly have watched the growth of that. Can you talk a little bit in general about the business school?
Absolutely. So, starting with our mission here, we believe that business can be done in a way that honors God and people while still making a profit. So, our business school is growing. It's grown to about 1,900 students at this point, and we've expanded our programs. So, we offer undergraduate programs in fields such as marketing and finance, business administration, and accounting. We also offer multiple master's degree programs. We've just added a new one. We're adding a new one in business analytics. And then we actually offer 3 doctoral programs through the School of Business. So our business school is named after Dr. Robert K. Jabs, who's been a business leader in our Inland Empire community, who was one of the first faculty members that I met here when I started here at CBU, a great man of faith. And so I'm just super honored to be able to serve in this interim dean role here in the school with such a great talented group of faculty members and staff, and then really getting to know the students. We really pride ourselves at CBU in general, and then at the job school, of being relational, building relationships with our students. And we seek to not just be instructors in the classroom, but also engage with our students through the clubs and organizations that are involved in, and then also giving them opportunities to work and take what they're learning in class and apply it to real world situations through internships and related activities.
Okay, so you mentioned 1,900 students approximately. Are those all on campus students? And you mentioned teaching some online courses as well. So I assume that's a part of the equation.
Yes, so if we look across all of our programs, bachelor's through doctorate, it's really about 50% on ground versus online. And so we offer some programs that are specifically online, and we offer a number of courses and programs that are on ground. So it's a really even split across the board. And so I'd say about 60% of our students are seeking bachelor's degrees, and then there's almost an even split remaining with our master's degree seekers and doctoral degree seekers.
Okay, do the majority of those students come locally, or are they coming to you from all over the country or world for that matter?
So that's a good question. So my sense is that we get a lot of students that are local. So at CBU in general, most of our a majority of our students are coming from the area, but we do market to regions outside of California. So we're really seeking, especially the School of Business, to become more of a global brand, to get our name out, expand the variety of students that we have by offering high quality programs.
Okay. Do they, in addition to the classes that they're taking and the degrees that they are achieving, are they exposed to the local business community in different ways? And I guess a follow-up to that, so I'm going to ask you two questions at once. Are there programs or campaigns or things that they're involved in, like business plan competitions or things like that? Can you talk a little bit about what students can expect?
Absolutely. So we do a few things to help our students engage with the business community. So really more than a few. For example, you mentioned our business plan competition. It's actually right around the corner. We have our Goodrich business plan competition coming around the corner. Very similar to a Shark Tank type competition where students can form teams. They come with their business ideas and their business vision, work together to create a business plan, and then we'll go through and vet those business plans. We'll select individuals to actually provide a 5-minute pitch at the actual competition. So we have faculty that serve as judges. We bring individuals from the community, business community, in to campus to help provide tips on how to write your business plan, how to create your business pitch. And so we also bring judges in from the community to help judge the students as they go through that competition. And so we also seek to engage students in internship opportunities. I teach for example, marketing internship course where students can find an internship off campus, on campus, but then work with the supervisor to really help that organization, but they're applying those business skills that they've learned here at CBU. And we seek to create a win-win-win situation between CBU, the student, and the hiring organization. As a business school, our culture is to be enamored in our reputation, engaged in our community, and then effective with our operations. So being engaged in our community means that the job school is out connecting with business owners, business leaders, and we seek to continue to be visible in our business community to really continue to tell the good story of what we're doing here in the School of Business.
Okay, so that if a local business is seeking some bright interns, they can reach out to you or to the school directly and kind of make that request or
Absolutely, absolutely, Norm. We definitely welcome that. We also work to go outside of the community, the Inland Empire community, to create those types of opportunities. I just went to LA County to work with an organization or talk to an organization to create some opportunities for them to come on campus, share about their business, and then for our students to have internship opportunities that would help their organization. So we're always seeking ways to connect our students to real world real world work experiences.
okay. So I just want to circle back to the business plan competition. Have you had students that have put together business plans that were so solid that they decided to actually start said business? And if so, does the school engage and support them even after graduation, for example?
So we have seen some support for our students that have, for example, won the business plan competition or have placed in first, second, or third place. So, and I could think of one team as an example that won third place in our competition a couple of years ago, and they just kept the ball rolling. Not only did they win third place, they went to another city and competed in a different business plan competition and won second place. Not only that, they went on and moved forward and they kept their business going. So as of today, I believe their business is still running and they've actually been on campus to talk about their new business. So absolutely, I've seen that. And these are real business ideas. So it's not just something that students are making up just to compete. These are really viable businesses. And even individuals that may not win the business plan competition get access and exposure to some business leaders that can help them with ideas to develop their business. And I've seen individuals that compete in the business plan competition make contacts with business leaders just from being a part of the competition that could potentially help their businesses grow.
Okay. That's fabulous. I've actually met a number of very successful alum from the business school over the years. Got a lot of folks here in the local community and outside for that matter that have gone on to do amazing things in business. So kudos to the school and to the efforts. I want to focus now, if I can, for a second on the Family Business Center in particular. I know that that was started a few years back. I mean, it was born out of the Jabs Business School. And Thomas, can you give me just kind of an overview of why the Family Business Center was created, and we can go from there.
Well, Norm, I think the answer is pretty easy. Just look at Riverside. One of the key statistics that pops out when it comes to Riverside is that there are more family businesses here than anywhere else in the country. So, and it kind of makes sense. You look at what Riverside has to offer. We don't have Apple, we don't have Google, we don't have any large business like that here. We have a lot of warehouses, but what we do have a lot of families that like to build businesses and like to pass it on down to the next generation and so forth. And there's many. Bourne's is just one of the family businesses that's here in Riverside, and there's many others out there as well. So it kind of makes sense that it would be something that we at CBU could actually do to reach out there and help facilitate that success for businesses out there, make them more aware of some of the challenges that are unique to a family business, as not just business in general, but the fact that you're working with somebody that you live with and interact with on a daily basis as well. It tends to make the dynamics a little bit more interesting.
Good choice of words. I assumed you were going to say challenging. Having met a number of business owners or family owned businesses, they certainly have a different set of, or an additional set of challenges as it relates to building the business initially. What are their exit strategies? Are they clear on what's going to happen and who's going to perform what roles and so forth? So it was a conscious effort to focus more on family businesses and doing something generic. You mentioned some challenges. When new members come, it's a membership based type of program. Is that correct?
It is.
Okay. So when new, go ahead.
Sorry, Norm.
No, no,
People
no.
can, different businesses can come in here and join or be sponsors of the program as well. So we have several wonderful sponsors of the program that help support and make things available to the members in here. It's a member-based organization that anybody with a business or interest in either sponsoring or learning more about some of the things that can impact their business can come here and share some fellowship, some times, and discussions with the people here.
So what do you think drives them to pick up the phone or visit the website and or ultimately show up on campus to participate in some of the activities and efforts that the Family Business Center conducts? What's the what are some of the driving reasons for that?
Well, Norm, I'll tell you, it's just for me, I can actually speak to it from my own perspective because I have actually had a business and had family members working. And inevitably, everything goes great. You grow, you get to a certain point, and you go, wait, how do I get to the next level? Or what do I do to overcome this issue? And honestly, it's just yourself and whatever family members around you and whatever knowledge and experience and training that you've had. But wouldn't it be nice if there was somebody else to talk to? I mean, after all, you want to go talk to somebody at your church, you go talk to them about your faith and some of the challenges that you are. Where do you go for business? if you're a family business, you want somebody that's there. I mean, you could go talk to your competitor, but you can imagine what kind of advice they might give you.
Right.
CBU is the perfect choice. Not only can they come here and get some wonderful advice, but they're surrounded by faculty that are all experts in their field. You're surrounded with a bunch of eager students that are willing to roll up the sleeves and help and do various things as well and serve as resources. And not to mention, we've got the research capabilities and many other things available to a business in here. So it makes sense. We're right smack in the middle of just the largest concentration of family businesses. So let's make ourselves available to them and help them in their walk, not only in their faith, but also in their business as well.
So, Tom, what is the onboarding process? What does that look like if a family business, let's say the owner, the principal of that business calls up to get information and decides they want to come check it out, and they end up deciding they want to be a member. I have a question about, is there a cost related to that? But since businesses are all very different, is there a static way in which they initially come in and they go through a process, a review, an analysis? How do they begin to take advantage of the staff that you talked about and the students that you talked about in terms of their ability to help and support? And is that unique to each one of them, or is there some track that they typically tend to go down?
Okay, a lot of questions here. So let me
Yeah,
unpack
sorry
this
about
by
that.
starting with
Yeah.
no problem. Let's start with the last one first and say that, you know, it's going to be unique for each and every business because look, just like people, businesses are unique and they're dynamic and they grow and they change. So, therefore, it's not a one size fits all situation here. We have to assess and understand what it is that they really need to be able to provide the assistance that they require. Now, in terms of membership, it is a paid membership, and we are going through and we will be revising that as well. So I think by the time this is published, we'll have the details on this. But right this minute, all I can say is that it's to be determined since we're going through some changes in the Family Business Center as well. Now, in terms of how do they access all this wonderful resources here that we have at CBU, well, quite simply by becoming a member at the Family Business Center and going through an onboarding process that basically they have to indemnify themselves. They have to agree to basically follow some simple rules and processes, just like any other organization. We're no different than, say, Google or anybody else. We have our own bureaucracy and our own processes that we have to adhere to as well and ensure that we're not putting people together that maybe shouldn't be together or may actually be competitors with each other or is more interested in selling rather than helping. So, the idea is we have to go through a little bit of a process here to make sure that we pair people and provide them with the assistance that meet their needs and doesn't create any undue stress on anybody.
Okay. In terms of resources that you make available to them, do you work with organizations or individuals outside of the business school itself or the Family Business Center, or is it all self-contained?
So no, of course. At CBU, we also work with other organizations, and probably one of the biggest partners that we have is Riverside County. We actually work with Riverside County. They actually support the Family Business Center. And with that, we provide a number of workshops that we put on for people in anywhere within Riverside County that's available. In fact, we're actually just finishing up proposing 6 new workshops for this year with Riverside County. So we'll be actually unveiling that in our first Family Business Center meeting and getting approval from the county to go ahead and schedule that. So anybody interested, even if they're outside of Riverside, I'd encourage them because one of the cool things about this is that working with Riverside County, it's not just in Riverside. We can be in other areas as well and provide workshops and facilities. And hopefully this year we can actually encourage Riverside County to take advantage of some online usage of some of these workshops as well to maybe even have a greater reach in the entire county of Riverside.
You mentioned something about I'm going to call it the vetting process
Hmm.
as you kind of evaluate or analyze these businesses that come to you. And you mentioned competitors and concerns about kind of looking at who you're bringing in. is the work that I would do as a family business owner, the work that we would do together to provide support and help for me, is that very individualized and I'm not necessarily interacting with other business owners in that regards, or are there settings where there are multiple business owners all collectively getting together to talk about some specific issue or topic that's relevant to their businesses?
Cool question. Okay. So let's talk about that for a second. So the short answer is yes, there is a little bit of everything in here. And what do I mean by that? I mean that of course there's going to be one-on-one or individualized work sessions that can be done with the different business owners. Different members of the faculty will volunteer some of their time to time and make themselves available to different business owners if they have specific needs or unique requirements in here. Is it possible for other businesses to work together to solve problems? Absolutely. And that's one of the things that we wanted to bring forward this year was a workshop, different workshops that not only do we get together and share stories of our successes and challenges and how we're endeavoring to get through there or share how our faith how it shapes our businesses and the way that we approach problems, but it also can serve as a way that we can do workshops to train some small business on things on anything from AI to how to do succession planning or some of the unique challenges that other businesses have faced when they reached a certain point of their growth or their walk in their own business.
Okay. Is there an established period in which businesses that are interested in obtaining membership into the Family Business Center in terms of time or date that they have to come in, or can any business walk through the door at any given time and start on their own journey?
Well, the best way for that is to reach out and contact the Family Business Center. So we're on the website. My contact information is there. Dr. Shields' contact information is there. They can reach out to us anytime, just an email, or they can call us directly on the phone, or they can schedule an appointment to go ahead and come in and speak to us privately. All that is fine. Anyone that they want to do, or we have a morning meetup that we do every other month in the morning that they're more than welcome to come and attend and join us there and have breakfast and break bread with the rest of the members there and spend a little bit of time getting to find out what we're all about and what we're trying to do and what our plans are and what's next.
Okay. Is there just in terms of overall capacity that the business school and specifically the Family Business Center have, um, do you have capacity to take on as many comers as you can?
Hmm.
And um, is there a is there such a thing as a typical end date, or an end to the process? So I come in, I go through an assessment, I meet and talk with people. Some ideas are bantered about, strategies are to kind of walk through utilizing the various services and resources that are available. Is there ever a point where I'm done, or does my interaction change at some point in the future?
Very multi-layered question here. So let's go ahead and
Sorry, I have
and
a habit of doing that.
that's okay. Don't worry about it. Happy to address it all. But let's dissect this a little bit here. So one thing to understand is, and yeah, one of the things we want to do is I absolutely want to fill up the stadium with businesses that come here. We've got such a prolific amount of businesses. So one of the goals is that why don't we make the Family Business Center the national center for family businesses? I mean, after all, we are in the densest area for family businesses. Why shouldn't we go ahead and set the example and set some of the standards? We've got research capabilities that we can use and bring into this. We've got tons of faculty that love to reach out and help the community and would love to provide assistance. Now, of course, all of our time is finite, and of course, all of the resources that we use here at CBU is finite too. So that doesn't mean that it's an unlimited, but that doesn't mean that we can't help a lot more people than we are now or accommodate many more situations or zones. In terms of is it a set time? No, because businesses are unique just like people. And honestly, we'll take whatever time that we need to do to provide the assistance and help that we can. Again, all they have to do is just reach out and contact us at the Family Business Center, and that starts the ball rolling. And I would be happy to talk to them. Dr. Shields would be happy to talk to them. Whatever we can do to help facilitate and bring them in and speak to them and start the process, we're happy to do. And ultimately, what really decides when it's over, it isn't because somebody says, "Oh, I'm done. I've had enough. I don't want to do it anymore." No, it's basically when we both mutually agree, you know what? I think we've done what we can here at this point. Maybe we need to move on to something else or do the next item that we should worry about.
Okay. Okay. So one last question in that regards. I appreciate your patience in weeding through my questions. In terms of if I'm a family business, I'm typically at what questions am I asking myself, or what are the common things that I'm concerned about that would make me think that I need to reach out and talk to somebody? Because my assumption is that there are, and my experience has been that there are a lot of business owners who will just toil for long periods of time without realizing that there are resources or there's opportunities for them. If they were listening right now, uh, what are some of the common things that you think they're thinking about that they have not yet um, put into that they've not yet determined action needs to be taken for, but they probably should consider it?
Absolutely. And it's not going to be uncommon. Believe it or not, most of the problems that family businesses run into are pretty much the same as most small businesses. And it's going to be the same thing. How do I scale my business to be able to meet the new challenges? How do I expand into a new market? Should I do another marketing campaign? What will that do? Should I hire somebody? What are the pros and cons of this? These are all the typical kind of decisions that people are challenged with, or how do I set up a better financial profile, or how can I maybe secure this for my children and my children's children moving forward? The kind of things that people really concerned about. And honestly, any one of these things, or how do I establish governance or succession planning within a business to help ensure success and longevity for more than one single generation? These are all so not only do family businesses have the typical questions that will arise in the operations of a business day to day, but it's also how do I provide the support for my family? How do I ensure the longevity? How do I ensure that my son, my daughter, a cousin, my wife, sister wants to be able to take over the business? If I think they're capable or I think they should be able to do that, do they want to do this? So how do I know? How do I talk to them? How do I approach this? What do we need to set up? Is there training that we can provide? All these are available, and we can discuss this with anybody in terms of how to help prepare their family business moving forward. But the best part about all of that is not only can you get help with all of those questions, but you can ground it in your faith as well and maintain your belief in God and Jesus Christ and keep things moving. And that is probably one of the biggest tenets of a family business is that you tend to find more family businesses tend to be grounded in their faith and use that as a guiding principle. So not only do they get to come here and provide and find out some of the available resources or assistance, but it also gets to reinforce their faith, which is always refreshing. Because I got to tell you, working in a business, okay, I have my faith in the way I believe it, but typically when I go to get help from somebody, it's always going to be agnostic. It's not going to be based upon my faith, or they'll never think of giving me advice based upon my beliefs in God and how I should actually guide my business. Here, we can actually help you walk both of them hand in hand.
Excellent. What an amazing resource. And the work that you do for the business community uh, is fabulous. I have the benefit of talking to a lot of business owners and have for many, many years. And I think they're all asking at least some of, if not all of those questions. And those questions change over time. So to have a resource or a place they can go to begin to ask those questions and ultimately receive answers for those is just amazing. Okay, so I kind of want to end with a question I want to pose to both of you. Two questions actually. The first one is, Dr. Shields, I'll direct this at you initially. We've talked about all the things that you do that happened there at the school. But all of it starts out, your day starts out waking up in your bed. And I want to know what brings you joy. What is the thing that drives you, gives you excitement to get out of bed and do what it is you're doing for this community and for the young people that are a part of the organization? And then, Tom, I have the same question for you.
One of those things is just knowing that we have resources here at CBU for individuals that are seeking to earn a college education, Christ centered college education, but not just that traditional age of student. We also have resources for individuals that want to continue their college experience and continue their college journey. Maybe for some reason they had to stop out of the college experience for whatever reason or weren't able to go the traditional path. So through our evening and online programs, we offer those experiences. And I know as a young working professional, newly married with a little one on the way, I knew what it was like to want to go to school, but also balance my work responsibilities and my home responsibilities. So in my time working in the online and professional studies division, I just really learned to love that population and just to be able to see individuals that maybe put their education on hold so that their children could go to college. And then they said, okay, now it's my turn. To be able to see that happen and for us to be able to provide that Christ-centered education to them and being flexible, it really brings me joy to see that. Quite frankly, I also enjoy teaching in general. I enjoy building relationships with the students here at CBU, but also specifically within the School of Business. Even outside of class, to see students walk around, to be able to say hello, how's it going, and then to see them walk across the stage. Because at CBU, we want all of our students, and all of our students are academically prepared. They're going to be biblically rooted, globally minded, and equipped to serve, because it's really all about equipping these students to go out into their respective mission fields, to use the skills and talents that God has given them to not only be successful professionally, but also to be able to serve others and glorify God.
Thank you. I appreciate that. Tom,
Hmm. I don't know if I can give anything as eloquent as Dr. Shields here, but I'll say that there's two
it's a pretty
things.
high bar.
It is. Yes, it is. So there's two things that drive me every day. Number one is my wife passed away some years ago, so I've been this is how I kind of take care of things and enjoy. This is my passion of what I like to do. I like to make a difference. I like to volunteer. I like to give back. It's something that I enjoy, and I do that quite openly in my own community where I help businesses all the time and donate my time to help them from everything from figuring out how to incorporate to what kind of a marketing plan or should I expand a business or lease or buy these sort of things. So I'd like to help out. I'd like to serve on different governmental positions and help out. But what really gets me is I love to provide instruction and teach because I come from the real world. I come from having to do all these things that we teach and we talk about. So everything that I get to provide instruction to is based upon every things that I've dealt with. I know what it's like to look for a job. I know what it's like to start out with no money. I know what it's like to grow. I know what it's like to make your first $1 million. I know what it's like to lose your first $1 million. And trust me, it wasn't as nearly as fun. So I learn all of these things in there, and I know this, and I love to share and provide. Here is what this means, and here's how it can and guide you. And let me tell you how it impacted my faith. And here's how I got through this. And this is what I did. Real world link is just something that inspires me. I enjoy it so much. Honestly, I'd do it for free. I didn't say that really, Roberts. Just bear in mind, do enjoy doing that so much that it's that drive because I love teaching and providing that and making a difference and knowing that I can inspire and provide that spark that maybe I'm going to go out and start a business. It's so cool to see that when students call and say, "Hey, guess what? I started my business," and it is so cool that a lot of things you talked about are true. So it's neat to be able to see this and have that impact or help a struggling business trying to get to the next step. So that's what inspires me, and that's what causes me to wake up early in the morning and want to jump forth and meet the challenges of the day.
Well, my friend, you got over the bar just fine with your answer. Two more things for you. It is actually recorded that you indicated you'd be willing to do this for free. So,
Mhm.
Robert, if you need a copy, you just let me know. Losing $1 million is much more palatable after you've made $1 million.
Yes, very.
So, all that being said, I appreciate you both being here. I just want to ask one question, and that is, what question didn't I ask that I should have?
Let me just start by saying one thing that I could probably wrap it up in saying that, Riverside family businesses face unique opportunities and challenges in here. And we at CBU and the Family Business Center provide proven frameworks to help navigate these challenges and opportunities by turning these potential obstacles into stepping stones for lasting success. This is something that we enjoy to do. It's something that we all believe in, and it enables everyone to find their purpose and make sure that they're walking in a way that they should.
Okay. I think on that note, I think we can draw this to a close. It's obvious that CBU has the right leadership in place. I was very impressed with your responses, and I know that the community will react to that as well. And I will make sure that all of the contact information for CBU, for Jab's Business School, and for the Family Business Center is included in the description of this video. And again, I thank you.
Thank you.
So much, Norm.